If you're a business owner who's providing regular services, should you have a contract? The answer is yes. If you are providing a service to people, it is best to put the terms of your agreement in writing with your customers. Now, I know a lot of the objections that I hear over time from business owners about why they don't do contracts, and I understand them. I don't want to make it harder to do the sales process. I don't want to scare people off by giving them a written contract. I'm a handshake sort of guy. My word is my bond. I don't need contracts. All of these, although I understand them, in the end up being pretty bad excuses. Contracts really are a benefit to your customers. They may not necessarily see it that way, but it lays out for them your expectations for the relationship and what they can expect. Giving them a written contract helps them to go back and consult it rather than having to call you with their questions. A written contract protects both parties by saying what you're going to do and when. It gives timelines, it gives the costs of things, it explains what will cause an overrun in cost or time. It explains what happens in the case of a dispute. It says where you're going to sue, how you're going to sue, who you're going to sue, all of this that limits on how much money either side could ask for in suit, who's going to pay for the attorneys if that happens. All of this can be worked out in a contract and save everyone time, frustration, trouble. Contracts can also require that you stay out of court for a period of time. Before we sue, we're required to do a 30-day cooling off period and exchange letters and try to work it out. Before we sue, it's required that we all both pay for a mediator. If either side thinks that they're being wrong, they can require the other side to split the cost of a mediator to sit down with the two of them and try to work it out. Contracts can do a lot of things to protect both sides and to reduce conflict rather than create it. Another thing in my experience that contracts do is it actually causes you to realize where you have not been clear. Sometimes when you sit down to write out a contract with somebody, you find out there are things that you haven't actually agreed on, when the product is going to be delivered, whether it's going to be delivered or picked up, how much it's going to cost to pay for delivery. All those are sorts of things that can get worked out in a contract. For most businesses, we can draft up a standard contract that's in a Word document that you can use over and over again with minor changes. If you do the same 3 things every time, you can have a contract for each of those services. If you make minor changes, then you can go in and tweak it. Another question I've been asked lately is, can I use artificial intelligence to draft my contract? ChatGPT is doing great. Can I use it? Can I make it draft a contract? Of course, the short answer is yes. I think probably any contract is better than no contract, but there are still things that artificial intelligence is not going to catch. AI is not necessarily going to know about local judges and their preferences. It's not going to know what sorts of things in contracts get struck down in the area where you live. ChatGPT is not going to be able to necessarily tell you things that your lawyer has learned from other people in your same industry. And also, ChatGPT or other types of AI products will require you to know enough to put the right prompt in, and that can be some trouble as well. Good lawyers should be able to hopefully help you to identify things you didn't even think about. Forum clauses, choice of law clauses, and 100 other things that maybe AI isn't quite catching yet. So there's some great things about AI, but it can also cause you some trouble. I think it's best to talk to a lawyer, get some help, and make sure that somebody's helping to monitor your business and what you're doing with your contracts.